Talking about masterminds today. It is mastermind party time lately because one of my masterminds, Bold Abundance, just recently opened up again for application. We just do this twice a year. Last time we opened up applications for this mastermind was in January. And so applications are open for about another week. We've already gotten hundreds of people who have applied. And so I just want to talk a little bit about how do you even know that you're ready to join a mastermind? Because this is something I hear a lot from people who are like, I think this would be a good fit for me. I think I'm ready to join a mastermind, but they're a little afraid that they're going to be the least experienced person in the room. They think they need more set up in their business to be good for a mastermind. They think that they need to be earning more money, all the things. So I'm going to actually just get really granular with you and talk about some of the characteristics or ways to know if you are ready to join a mastermind, if this is something that could actually benefit you and your business. So if we haven't met before, my name is Melissa Griffin. I help entrepreneurs both with the business strategy side of things and with the mindset side of things. So I take a more holistic approach to how I coach and support entrepreneurs. And I do it this way because I think it gets people better results. I think your mindset is just as important as the business strategy that you use inside of your company. And so that's the way that I love to do it. Now, if you're here right now and you're watching, leave a comment. Let me know you're watching. I would love to give you a little shout out and just say hello. And like I always tell you, it's just more fun when I feel like we're part of a community versus me speaking into my computer by myself. So leave a comment. Let me know you're watching. But let's get into it. So how do you know that you're ready for a mastermind? So there's two different types of masterminds that I'm going to tell you about. The first one I'll just briefly touch on. Hello, Paula. Thanks for leaving a comment. The first one is a peer-led mastermind. And these are for basically anybody. You can start a peer-led mastermind, and that's peer, like P-E-E-R, peer-led mastermind. Anybody could start one. So you could start one and you could invite people who are in your industry. You can invite friends who also have businesses. You can do this. Anybody can. And this could work really well if you're somebody who's in the beginner stages of business where not sure if you're where you need higher level support. You don't really have a lot right now. You're in the more startup phase of your company, like you just started it. This can be a great way to have basically an accountability group and to have some friends that you can bounce ideas off of. Generally, people go in more of the beginner stages of their businesses too. So that's one option. Now, peer-led masterminds are also something that people who are at really high levels of business create and are part of too. I've been part of those as well, where it's a peer-led mastermind with other people who have seven-figure businesses. So that's an option. Now, one that I'm going to speak more to today is a mastermind that's run by a coach or a mentor, and that attracts a community of people, usually a little bit bigger than a peer-led mastermind, of people who are at a similar level of business as you. And I think that there's a lot of value that you can gain from being part of a mastermind like that because you have a mentor that you can look up to versus just being with peers. And you have this really curated group of people that you're going through the mastermind with. So how do you know that you're ready to join a mastermind like that, which you require a financial investment to be part of? So let's go through a few of the ways that you'll know. And hi, Darlene, I see you here too. Thanks for watching. So one of the ways that you know that you're ready for a mastermind is that you're at this point in your business where you are doing it all yourself. You are the marketing manager. You are the CEO. You're the operations person. You're the designer. You are the list building expert, right? You are doing everything inside of your business. You're probably to this point where you're like, hello, somebody needs to support me in this because I can only grow so much by myself. I can only grow so much if I have to be the designer and the copywriter and the everything else, right? So you're getting to this point where you're realizing that you are the one holding yourself back. And what we like to call this is being the bottleneck. You are the bottleneck inside of your business, or you know that it could be growing faster or scaling more, but because you only have limited time in what you're able to do, you're stunting your own growth. And so why you'd be a great candidate for a mastermind is because you are able to then learn how to hire people, where to find great talent for your company, and who to hire first and second and third and all of the things. And a lot of people in masterminds will hire because you'll be able to find some really talented people in masterminds, or you'll get referrals from people that other mastermind members have worked with as well. So you're able to find this really talented group of people to hire in your business if that's something that's a priority for you right now. And on the mindset side of things, if you're doing it all yourself, but you have resistance to investing in hiring and growing a team and being a leader of a company, then that's something else that can actually be worked out in a mastermind too. Because if you've noticed that you've been holding yourself back because you know that you should be hiring someone, you know that you have limited time, but you're not doing it because of the fear of the fear of having to manage somebody, like things that might be stunting your growth, that can be worked out inside of a mastermind too. So hiring, being the bottleneck, trying to do it all yourself, these are all qualities that somebody who's a perfect candidate for a mastermind might have. So that's number one. The second one, this is a big one. So the way that I talk about business is that there are 4 pillars for you to focus on. And this is for online business, but really I think that this model could work for any business. So the 4 pillars are your marketing pillar, how you attract new people to find out about your business, subscribe to your email list, subscribe to your sales funnels. So the marketing pillar. There's the product pillar. So the product pillar, say that 10 times fast. The product pillar is anything that you sell. So what are your services? What are your products? Do you have online courses? What are you selling? And what's the experience? What are the results that people get from Go product? So that's your product pillar. How good is your product, essentially? And then you have your operations pillar. So operations is all about your team. Who's on your team? Do you need to hire people? What kind of systems do you have inside of your company so that it's not all like band-aided together and about to fall apart, but it's actually something that when you scale your company, the systems scale with you. There are things that are, you have structure in your business, basically. You've got automation. You've got things that are flowing and working versus you trying to like tape it all together. So that's your operations pillar. And then lastly is the mindset pillar, which is all about you as the CEO and also empowering your team to focus on their mindset too. But for you as the CEO to focus on your mindset, not get in your own way, not let your limiting beliefs dictate your level of success that you're capable of. So the 4 pillars are the marketing pillar, product, operations, and mindset. And we're talking about masterminds right now. So what I tend to find is that people who are a great candidate for a mastermind generally have one of those pillars pretty solid. Pretty solid. Not all of them, but at least one. And usually the one that I find people are pretty solid at is the product pillar. So you have figured out how to create a product that people like. You have created a service, or you've created a course, or you've created something, and people are digging it. The people who find it, they like it. They get results. They enjoy working with you. The only problem is, well, how do you do the marketing? How do you get more people finding out about this product? How do you set up operations and systems and hiring a team so that you can actually scale this product that you have? And how do you work through the mindset blocks that might be blocking you from getting those higher level results in your company? This is what I find, especially for people who are good candidates for my level 1 mastermind. So these are people who are generally between earning around $30,000 a year up to $250,000 a year. So this is for my level 1 mastermind, where people are generally having that kind of issue. They've got a product that's working, but the other 3 pillars are kind of a hot mess. And so in the mastermind, we're able to work through those 3 other pillars to make sure that your business is not only ready to scale, but is scaling. So when you've got a great product, but you don't have the marketing, operations, or mindset in place, then things can go a lot slower. You can feel like you're plateauing. You can get in your own way a lot of the times. So that's a really good indicator that you're ready for a mastermind, is at least one of those pillars is working well. Maybe it's not the product pillar. Maybe it's something else. It could even be the mindset pillar, where you've got a really solid mindset. You're confident in what you're doing, but you don't know what to sell, or what you're selling isn't going so well. You don't have the marketing, where you're not getting leads. You don't know how to hire a team. Like, there's still all of these other components that you can learn about and optimize better results inside a company. That's a really good indicator you're ready for a mastermind too. The next one is that you don't know the steps you need to do in order to scale. And this one is, it's like when you get to a little bit of a higher level in business, like you're not in the very beginning startup stage anymore. You've created something, you're making some money, it's going decently well. Okay, well, you're not really a candidate for an online course anymore. Maybe depending on a certain topic you might be, but usually online courses are best for people who are at more of the beginning stages of whatever it is that they're learning. So you're looking for more nuanced course point and set the vision of where you know, like this is the thing you want to create, this is the impact, this is the revenue level, but you don't know the steps involved in getting there because now you're not quite in this beginner level anymore. And a lot of the information that you could find like for free online is more for people who are at the beginner level. Same with online courses. And so you need that more nuanced support that's going to help you fill in the blanks for whatever that next step, that next goal that you have is. And so that's a really good indicator that you're ready for a mastermind too, is that you know where you want to go. And it's a little further than a lot of what you see out there online, but you just don't know the steps to get there. You need more of the nuanced support and coaching and mentoring, likely from somebody who has already achieved the result that you're going for. So that will give you more of the specific advice, the specific mentorship that works for your industry, your situation, your goals, versus more of like a blanket strategy that might not actually work for where you're at this slightly higher level now. And in terms of that too, with the next steps, like maybe you know what the next steps are. Maybe you know where you want to go and you know how to get there. But the thing that's getting in your way is the accountability piece. Maybe that's getting in your way. And so you can also know that you're ready for a mastermind by knowing that if you just had the accountability, then you would create bigger results. You would create results that are more aligned with where you want to go. But you're procrastinating, you're overwhelmed, you're exhausted because you're trying to do it all and because you don't have the accountability to get things done. And then another thing too, in terms of how you'll know that you're ready for a mastermind, is that you might feel a little isolated. You may have friends in the business world, maybe online or in person, and they may be wonderful connections and people, but you notice that you're not growing in those friendships anymore, especially in business owner, entrepreneurial circles. You notice that you're the one always giving the advice, but never the one getting it. And if you feel that way, if you feel like you're a little isolated in terms of your own growth and your own community of people that surround you, then a mastermind is like literally the perfect thing that's going to help you to create that sense of community with other people who are at a higher level too. So for me, when I joined a mastermind, I was feeling that way for quite a while, where I had been in the online world for a couple of years at that point, maybe 2.5 years. So I'd met a lot of people. I was very social. And they're wonderful. And I loved being able to spend time with them. A lot of them were online. So we did Zoom calls and all those types of things. But I noticed that I was always the person giving the advice. They would always ask me questions, always want to brainstorm with me. But I found that it wasn't reciprocal. I wasn't really getting anything in terms of my business out of it. And I don't think a relationship always has to be like going both ways, right? But I did feel like I wasn't getting my cup filled, and my business was not growing as much as it could have because I didn't have the community of people who are all striving to in their business and in their lives. And so when I joined a mastermind, that was probably the number one thing that I got out of it initially. I've been part of many masterminds since then, but the very first one that I joined just surrounded me with people who are also driven for this purpose that they had in their lives. They cared about something in a deep way, and they were really striving to make moves on that thing that they cared about. And so a lot of them were further along than I was, and they were able to give me advice, or they were further along in certain areas or topics that they knew a lot about. And so I grew just by being in the environment with them, almost like by osmosis. I see it as one of my mastermind members actually said this, and I just keep repeating it because I love it. She said that it's a collective attitude. And when the collective attitude of people in the mastermind is one of possibility, creation, and camaraderie and collaboration, then it shifts everything in terms of how you look at your business, how you look at what is possible for you to create, the types of goals that you want to strive for. So it just really changes everything. And if you're popping in, feel free to leave any questions that you might have in the comments, and I will answer them live about masterminds, or if you're ready to mastermind, or about my mastermind in particular. So I will also mention that applications for my Bold Abundance Mastermind have just been released this week. So you have until next Friday to submit your application. I would recommend getting it in today or over the weekend. We have already received hundreds of applications. We are going through them on a first come, first serve basis to invite people to an interview. And what happens on the interview is we mutually see if the program is a good fit for you and if you are a good fit for what we're curating inside of this program. And so if it is, then we'll invite you to join, and we have limited spots. So the people who submit their applications first would be invited to an interview first, and they would be able to join before the program sells out. So just keep that in mind if you're interested in a mastermind, because you want to make sure that you don't miss out on that. Awesome. Oh, I see a sweet comment. I don't see who that's from. Let's find out. Aw, Cornelia. Love you. Cornelia, who's in my mastermind right now, said it is priceless. So much support and space to shed your cocoon and step into your wings. I love that. What a beautiful way to put it. Yes. Love that. And Cornelia is coming back. Yes. Round 2. So excited that she's going to be joining again. So if you have questions about my Bold Abundance Mastermind or just masterminds in general, happy to answer those for you. So I'll tell you a little bit about the Bold Abundance Mastermind that I have. Like I said, applications are open right now. And what it is it's a group incubator of sorts. I think of it as an incubator because you're in this group program with other entrepreneurs who are also in the online space. A lot of them are doing things like creating online courses, writing books, creating content online in many different capacities, podcasts, blogs, YouTube, all of the things. They're basically the helpers of the world. They are looking to share information and teach people and help people in a bigger way. And so in the mastermind, the revenue range for this program is generally between about $30,000 a year up to $250,000 a year. And the reason why we've set it up that way is because people within that range, even though it might seem like a big range, people in that range tend to have similar problems. They tend to have similar like growing pain. And so we'll coach on those general themes in a more specific, nuanced way that people are having issues with. So with this new round that we're stepping into right now with the mastermind, we have a Facebook ads coach, a sales funnel coach, two mindset coaches that are going to be there, an operations coach, and a copywriting and messaging coach. Because I find that all of these different spaces, all of these different topics are things that people in that $30,000 to $250,000 range have a lot of issues with. They're the things that are preventing you from. And so we have dedicated coaches to the topics that I think are most to you. And of course, you'll get access to me, as well as our other coaches. So I'll be doing a couple of coaching calls per month. And then we also have a Slack channel for our members. So in the Slack channel, that's where you can get support and more like quick advice in between the coaching calls that you'll have, so that you can get that feedback. You can share your wins. You can connect with the rest of you there, the community inside of the mastermind too. And then we also have 2 retreats. So that's a great place where you really get to build solid connections with the people who are in the program, and just go deep with them. I feel like masterminds are a place where you get to meet lifelong friends, people that you'll get to be in contact with for for a long, long time. The people I've met in masterminds, a lot of them have moved into becoming just lifelong friends of mine because we grew together. We went through a lot together in the program. And so it just gives you that capacity to have those types of friendships forever more as you're growing and scaling your company. And that's what gets to happen throughout the entire program, but especially at our retreats that we have too. Now, if you're interested in learning more about that program, the link is boldabundancemastermind.com, boldabundancemastermind.com. You can learn more about the program. You can apply for it. Like I said, the applications are up until next Friday, but I would recommend getting yours in today because we invite people to interviews based on the order that they submit their application if we think they might be a good fit for the program. So get it in ASAP so that we don't run out of space before we get to your application. Yeah. And if you have any questions after we sign off and you're like, oh, I wish I would have asked that when Melissa was live, just leave a comment on this video and tag me and I will come back and answer your question. Or you can send me a direct message on Instagram, exchanging with different people, answering questions about the program. So if you've got any questions, you're not sure if it's good for you or where you're at in your business, where you want to go, then just leave a comment or send me a DM and I will get back to you ASAP on the program and if I think a mastermind's a good fit for you. Awesome. I think I've got all the questions. I'll stick around for another second here just in case any pop up. Okay, I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me on your Friday night. I appreciate you and I hope I get to see your application come through for the mastermind.